Hello everybody, Joshua Stewart smoking a pipe up north in the woods. Once again we have a codger and a corncob and tool time Tuesday. We'll start out with the codger and a corncob. I got my Missouri Meerschaum Legend that I've got dedicated to codger blends of all sorts. And in it, Paladin Black Cherry. Bought this, well, probably my first few weeks of my pipe smoking journey. I was driving through a different town. There was one of the tobacco shops and went in, and it was another one of the cigarette and vape shops. Although they did have a small walk-in humidor that had some cigars, and I asked about the pipe tobacco, and he pointed to the wall with all the roll your own stuff that I'm not interested in that stuff. And he said, "Oh, you mean like the little pouches?" It's like, yeah, I mean, pouches or tins, whatever. What do you got? So they had, half a dozen pouches and codger blends. So the Paladin Black Cherry was one of them. And I'd been pretty curious to try that up to that point. So I bought it, paid the full Minnesota tax on it. I don't remember what it was, like $12 or $13 or something like that. Which obviously is way overpriced, but it's what you got to do in Minnesota, I guess. And I tried it when I got home. I didn't care for it. I gave it a couple of weeks, and I tried it again, and still didn't care for it. So now it's been well over 6 months. I'm going to try it again, see if I like it or not. And it sure smells nice in the pouch. But so I haven't lit this yet. I've got it in there. I've only got about a half a bowl in here, but good draw, fresh filter. See how it goes. I'll say so far I don't hate it as much as I did at first. Now whether that's because it's got 6 or 8 months of it, 6 or 8 months of age on it now, I'm not sure, but I've only taken about 2 puffs. So. I can't get it lit. No, and I puff hard when I'm first trying to get it going here. It is threatening to bite me a little bit. I'll maybe pose a question to you guys too. Regarding the filters. I generally use a filter in most of my pipes, or the K-Woodies that have the stinger, which, I mean, it's not a true filter, but I believe it does help with some stuff. So anyway, I just watched the Eddie Gray video that he just put out at the Pipe Nook. about filters. So how many bowls do you, those of you that use filters, how many bowls do you go through per filter? Is it one and done like Eddie does, or do you get a couple of them out of there? And what type of filters do you use? Up to this point, I've actually only used the Dr. Grabo, what are they, paper filters? Basically just trap some of the moisture, about all they do. And I have yet to try the charcoal filters. I guess for me, it depends on the blend. I mean, some of the heavy aromatics, at least with those Dr. Grabo filters, yeah, one time through and they're done. But this is definitely threatening to bite. I mean, I think I'm taking it slow enough that it isn't getting me too bad. So yeah, the flavor, I don't dislike it as much as I did the first time. Which maybe at that time I was expecting, you know, like the Lane Very cherry, you know, cherry to just blow you away. But now I can appreciate a little bit more subtle flavors. So, yeah, I mean, I would say it improved from whether it's my palate has changed, which is most likely the case, or if it improved sitting for 6 or 8 months, whatever it's been. I don't know, but other than the fact that it's trying to bite me, I don't dislike it like I used to. What I might have to do someday, I mean, this isn't going to happen for a while, but I've seen other guys do some comparisons of different blends, but it'd be fun to compare like this Paladin black cherry to the Borkenriff cherry liqueur that I did a week or two ago. Captain Black Cherry, and I thought there was a couple other widely available cherry blends out there. See how they all compare. See if I have a favorite amongst them. So, as long as we're going okay on the bowl here now. The mittens got off my lap on his own free will. I didn't have to kick him off and have him upset with me. It's time for the Tool Time portion of Codger and a Corn Cob and Tool Time Tuesday. what I've got today is one of my, I don't know how you'd call it, a gimmicky tool that I picked up probably 10 or 15 years ago. It's a set of double open end wrenches from, what do we got, 5/16 is the smallest right there. And it goes up to 3/4 for the biggest. Now these are ratcheting open end wrenches. Like I say, they're kind of gimmicky, but the idea is if you've got a hex head nut or bolt or something, you can put it on there like a normal open end wrench. And this right here is spring loaded. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. So the idea is you put it on there, and one way you turn it, that spring loaded pin or whatever it is locks onto the flat of the hex, and the other way it kind of ratchets over there. So the idea is that it can be a ratcheting open end wrench. Now, does it work? Yep, basically. Is it actually very useful? Probably not. You say I bought these probably 15 years ago. I think I used them once or twice when they were new, and they've just pretty much sat in the drawer of my toolbox ever since. And I'm sure, I mean, I bought them, so like I say, it seemed like a good idea, and they basically work. But about the only time they've really got a application is if you can't fit a ratchet on there. Most of the time you can fit a ratchet in there. So yeah, and I think these are Craftsman. I'm sure other brands make them too, but now I watch after I've used this and it's fresh in my mind, I'll find some use for it in the next week. And it'll probably be when I'm not at home and I don't have them with me. And I'll be saying to myself, man, I wish I had those ratcheting open end wrenches for this particular job. So after I bought those, I kind of realized that it's easy to get sucked into gimmicks when you got tool buying fever. So it kind of helped me to learn to not get so caught up in the whole excitement. Because those things weren't exactly cheap either. I don't remember how much they were, but so anyway, final thoughts on the Paladin Black Cherry. Yeah, not bad, not great. There's definitely other Codger blends that I like more. I think I've been able to manage to keep it from biting me very much. It did a little bit at first, but I think once it got going and I didn't have to puff so hard to keep it going, the bite is not nearly as much of an issue. So with that, I'll finish this bowl. Like I say, it was only a half a bowl to begin with, but there's not a whole lot left. Probably another 5 minutes. So with that, I'll let y'all go. Have a good night, day, whatever we're at. This is Joshua Stewart, smoking a pipe up north in the woods. Have a good day.